Cannabis businesses face several problems that other businesses don't have to worry about. When we come back, we're going to be talking to the founder of an accounting firm that provides tax advice for cannabis companies. Find out more. Good morning, San Diego. Be right back.
The inability to use banks or even bank servicing is just one of several obstacles that cannabis companies are now facing. So here to talk more about the challenges is founder and CEO of Aviva Spectrum Accounting, Sonia Luna. Good morning, Sonia.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, because this is becoming a growing problem, literally, that now with the legalization of cannabis, even here in California, but not on a federal level, you're telling me that the banks cannot actually take the money.
Correct. It's still federally illegal, and the way banks work is they get their charter through the Federal Reserve. So they don't want to lose that license to do business. There are some underground banks and credit unions that are servicing the industry. The quantity is about 400, but the volume of total banks available is 12,000. So you're looking at less than 4% that are actually banking in this industry. So there's a couple of bills being introduced in Washington. A lot of people in the industry are looking forward to seeing some of them passed. One of which was recently announced last month was a bipartisan bill by Gardner and Elizabeth Warren, and it's called basically a states bill that allows those states that want to have cannabis in their states, let the banks service that industry without being penalized.
Because that's one of the other problems they're facing. If they distribute or bank across state lines, and then that state has different policies than the other state.
Correct. It allows each state to determine what kind of rules and regulations that they want to regulate it. Right now, the current trend from a political standpoint is 2/3 of voting Americans have some form of favorable opinion in regulating cannabis. So having interstate commerce from a voter's perspective, if you're a politician, they're in favor of it.
Okay, what about the tax side of this, though? Because if they're not banking or usually using regulated banking industry, then how can we also regulate the taxes for it?
Correct, yeah. So with taxes, as you know, when you have an all-cash type business, there could be some skimming off the top. So for a politician, especially at the federal level, you want all the rightfully distributed tax dollars. So the state's bill does address that with the banking issue. However, from a tax perspective, cannabis business owners have an unfavorable issue. They have the 280E. It's a tax code that the IRS has put up, which says cost of goods sold is the only thing you get to deduct. But if you're a tobacco, alcohol type business, which is also highly regulated, they get to deduct all the other costs that a normal business can have. So what does that mean to a cannabis business owner? They pay 3.5 times more in federal taxes, even though it's been approved by the state. You follow, it's been highly regulated. So it's really a disproportionate set of tax burden on one industry.
Do they have the same regulations, though, that tobacco and alcohol? Do they pay those kind of red tape?
Yes, they pay their fair share. There's a track and trace system in most, if not all, the states that I'm aware of, and there are over 40 states that have some type of cannabis policy, and it's highly, highly regulated. As a matter of fact, your blueberries that you eat, okay, does not have a track and trace system in California. Cannabis, though, if you were to consume that, you know exactly where it was cultivated, the time it was harvested, all the way through to the distribution channel. So it is a very highly regulated industry, more burdensome there than I would say other industries.
I feel, Sonia, this discussion is going to continue because now with this, the cannabis industry growing, there's going to be need for more information, more regulation, and I think it's going to start at a federal level. That's the only way that you're really going to get that blanket approach, it sounds like.
The industry is looking forward to it, yes.
All right, thanks for clearing some things up for us this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure.